What's up? Grace Report. Happy Thursday. What is up? Wendy, Joanne, Matthew with the hello, Carol, Tyrana, the Mod Squad Network. We were abducted prom night in the 90s. There was 4 of us. That is crazy. I need to fish. How's everyone doing? Chris Barber, what is up? We'll wait a few minutes for people to trickle in before we get into the nitty gritty. How's everyone doing? Is everyone staying cool in this crazy heat that we're having? Shelly, what is up? Did anyone do anything interesting this week? Well, we wait for people to trickle in. Lisa Boo, what is up? Julissa, Gunner Girl. It's hot. That's all I have to say. I'm hot. And then I got my, while we wait for people to come in, I got my electrical built in. Mind you, my air conditioning doesn't work. And it was I've just been using fans and it's high. And I'm like, what the heck? No, Mod Squad, I know. It was nice meeting you. It was great meeting you, actually. Shelly, you as well. It was awesome meeting all y'all that went to Mad Monster. Wendy goes, I drained my propane tank and now the water heater. Ooh, cool. Chris Barber has not gone outside all day. I kind of stayed. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if I go outside or inside for me. So. Oh, no way. Oh. Lisa Boo goes, Project Metal Music says, A up, it was his birthday today, so please say happy birthday. Happy birthday and A up to Project Metal Music, guys. Say, wish Project Metal Music a happy birthday. I know he's a bit ahead of us, about 8 hours or so, but still, we could still wish him a happy birthday. So, guys, if you kindly wish Project Metal Music a happy birthday. And A up. That's awesome. Joanne had acupuncture today. I've never had acupuncture. I've always wanted to try that. Delia Lux, what is up? Tammy, how's it going? Nerd Report in the house. All right, guys. Well, I know I always say this, but while we wait for people to trickle in, I do have this article. It's kind of spooky. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a real life spook if you guys are afraid of spiders. So, this golf course in Arizona, or a golfer, I should say, not golf course, a golfer encountered a tarantula while he was pulling up. He pulled up the flag while he was doing a putt, and he met a new friend. So golfers, startled by a creepy critter in an unusual spot in Arizona, as an experienced golfer, you might find sticking your hand into the hole to a second nature. But what happens when you find more than your hole-in-one ball hiding under the surface? M. Casey posted a video on X, formerly Twitter or Twix, that shows a hairy tarantula crawling on the base of a flagstick. Casey, the assistant superintendent at Seven Canyons Golf Club in Sedona, Arizona, later posted a picture showing the tarantula safely removed from the hole. Reactions to the video were mixed. Some viewers were horrified by Casey's find. No, thank you. I'll deal with the the javelina instead. Ex-user at Matt L.A. Wells said in October, Casey shared a video showing how javelinas had torn up sections of the golf course, spurring a conversation about water use and wildlife. Like Seven Canyon Golf Course, many other courses around the state are expecting to see more critters or creatures in the coming weeks. But why are so many tarantulas popping up in the seasons? If you see one of these hairy spiders in Arizona, it will most likely be the Arizona blonde tarantula, also known as the Western Desert or Mexican blonde tarantula. With the ability to grow up to 3 or 4 inches, these large body spiders spend most of their lives in self-made burrows underground. The female can be identified by their uniform tan fur, while the males have black legs and a copper or reddish body and head. When these southwest tarantulas do leave their burrows, it's typically during mating season between July and October. It is more common to see these critters in your neighborhood house or even on the golf course. Although these arachnids aren't usually home invaders, it's nice to keep them out of your house. Blue Sky Pest Control recommends 3 easy steps to prevent tarantulas and other creatures from crawling into your space. I mean, I haven't seen a tarantula here in a while, but usually they're by my trash cans outside on the side of the house, so I usually don't have them in my house. While the 8 eyes and 6 legs may creep you out, tarantulas aren't much of a threat to humans unless provoked. The spider will most likely leave you alone, but if you feel attacked, tarantulas will bare their fangs and attempt to intimidate you and bite. Luckily, their venom is relatively weak and might feel similar to a bee sting if properly cared for. So, I mean, I guess tarantulas, I've never had an encounter where a tarantula bared its teeth, but I've never had like where I felt threatened by a tarantula. So, I mean, well, now I know they're not venomous, but Wake Sheepberry, what is up? So here I'm gonna play a clip of this because YouTube likes to be scandalous, just so I could show you. We'll wait for the ad just so I could show you a little bit of it, so you know what I'm talking about. But let me wait for the ad to finish. You guys can see. Okay, you guys can see it. Wake Shapeberry goes, they won't hurt you unless they feel threatened. I've never had a problem with tarantulas. I used to see a lot of them growing up, but I haven't seen any recently. But I'm always like the one to go, oh my God, there's a tarantula. Let me check this out. I don't know. I'm the one that will walk up to them. They don't really scare me too much. All right, I get it. Intel Core Ultra. Come on. Oh, now I could skip it. So this is basic. Oh, hold on. Let me see. So this is where the tarantula was. So here, I won't play too much of it because YouTube likes to be pesky. If you guys heard what happened to Nerd Report. So I'm going to dot my I's and cross my T's. But this is where the tarantula was. And most of the time, I know when I used to golf years ago, I would not check before putting my hand in there. I would usually just grab, and I'm pretty sure seasoned golfers that golf like almost every day, they probably do the same. They don't think anything of it. They probably just stick their hand in it to grab their ball. But in this case, there's a tarantula in this one. So this is kind of, I mean, this would probably startle me a bit, but then I'll be like, oh man, that's kind of cool. So this is where they found it. Just chilling there. I mean, it must be, I'm assuming, well, this is in Arizona. Arizona is like super hot right now. So I'm assuming he's just trying to stay cool, or she. So I don't blame her or him for doing so. But it's just like a warning just to be aware of your surroundings, because even golfing, you can encounter nasty critters. Delay Lex goes, I haven't seen them for a while. I haven't either, which is, it's weird. Usually, I used to when I was a kid, I used to see them all the time. Mod Squad goes, that's what she said. Wake Shapeberry goes, deep fried. The legs are the best. I can't, no. The Mod Squad Network is in Arizona. Weedy goes, no me gusta, nope. Lisa Boo goes, balls for Captain Corey. I know a lot of you follow Captain Corey as well. But that was the crazy story that popped up. I don't, like I said, I don't blame the tarantula. It's probably trying to stay cool. I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be like, shade? Okay. All right, guys, as always, Skeleduck is somewhere in this background. Just remind me, and I will reveal his location at the end of the stream. If you are new to the stream, Skeleduck. Hold on, let me see if I could get to the screen. Because my, oh, wait a minute, it's not. Oh, it is on that screen. Duh, George. Skeleduck is in the upper right-hand corner, and he is hidden somewhere behind me. Just remind me at the end of the stream because I will forget. What's up, Ann? How's it going? Wake Shapeberry goes, I like spiders. They eat all the other, but I don't mind spiders at all. And I agree with you, Wake Shapeberry. I'm kind of the same. Because they eat other bugs. So they don't bother me at all. But I tend to I like everything. I'm weird like that, I guess. I like everything. I like raccoons, possums, even skunks. Snakes are cool to me. I've seen weird spiders. I just try to stay away from the poisonous ones, the venomous ones, but I do like spiders. They dropped another trailer. Did any of y'all get to see the Beetlejuice Electric Boogaloo Part 2 trailer that I believe dropped today, if I'm not mistaken? I have not seen it yet. I was going to see it before I started the stream and I forgot. So after the stream, I will watch it. But they do have another Beetlejuice trailer that they dropped. I still have to watch it. Beetlejuice is coming out September 6th. There were some scenes. I have not seen the second trailer yet. I will after the stream. The first trailer that I did see some CGI, which was a little disheartening. Because I know Tim Burton didn't want to use CGI, but I think because of time constraints, he had no choice, and they kind of convinced him to. Mod Squad Network goes, yeah, it dropped today. Thank you, Mod Squad Network. Carol goes, I caught a baby skunk when I was a kid. My grandma and my parents made me let it go. They're cute. I had before I get into this Beetlejuice, I in my back, like I have a sliding glass door in my room, so in the back I see all these crazy critters, right? So I see and thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Welcome Tammy, Lisa, Peggy, Kathy B, Dusty Lane. What's up, Dusty? What's up, Aaron? To the Wolf Pack. Hearts for Ann and all the new and returning Wolfpack members. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate that. And then welcome, guys, or welcome back. So I usually, to continue with my story, I'll see possums. I love possums. I always see possums. I'll see skunks because I feed the birds. So they'll get the bird seeds, and sometimes I'll put peanuts out there for the squirrels because I'll see squirrels during the day. And I always go squirrely or something, and squirrel goes and runs, or I go possum. Possum goes, looks up, sniffs, starts running or starts wobbling the way because possums don't really run. So they start, and I'm like, don't leave. A skunk, same thing. Skunky! So I've seen raccoons in my front yard, but I've never seen one in my backyard. And I saw one last night. And I was like, raccoony! And this raccoon, and I'm usually thinking, oh, it's going to run off, right? This raccoon comes up to the window, starts sniffing. I'm like, I don't have any food. And he starts climbing up the tree. And I go, is there any peanut? Because I leave peanuts, in the bowl, but I didn't think there was any in there because I hadn't fed the squirrel yet. I was like, is there any peanuts up there? Like, go check. So he crawls, he goes up, and then I walk away and I come back and boom, he's right there, like his face. And he looks like a young raccoon, not like, an older raccoon. And I'm like, I don't have any food, raccoony, and he's like scratching out the door. And I was like, wait up. So I grabbed, so I went to the back door and I started throwing him. I didn't get close to him because I don't know, I didn't think he was aggressive or anything, but I didn't want to get close to him. And I thought he was going to come in, like before I had gone to grab him some peanuts, but so I closed my door a little bit because I was like, oh crap, he could break through my screen door and be in my room. I don't want that. So I opened it, I closed it, and he walked away. I was like, no, that's okay. And he came back, and I was like, what the heck? So I started throwing, so I came through the back door. I was like, hey, raccoony. And he comes and I see him and I just started throwing peanuts to him. So, and he was like, so I thought that was great. He was so cute, but that was just weird because usually, like, I'll see a squirrel and the squirrel runs away, but this raccoon just came right up to me. So I was like, he might have been fed before, or he's brave. Lisa Boo goes, I talked to them too. Carol goes, we had a possum living on our porch for a whole summer. She even had her babies there. We fed her cat food. She loved it. Ah. Wake Shape Berry goes, what's a difference between a possum and an opossum? I think. Or opossum. Possums have thick, fluffy, reddish brown, dark brown, and warm gray hues. They're cute. They eat bugs too. It says possums and opossums are not closely related. I do not know the difference. I guess the fur is different. The size is different. Diet is different. The faces look different. Opossums have pointed faces with long, narrow snouts and sharp teeth, while possums have round face and shorter, less pointed snouts. So I've probably seen opossums because the ones I see have that big snout. Julissa goes, yes, they eat ticks and won't get Lyme disease. They're great. I know, that's exactly why I love possums. I like, go ahead. You guys can be in my backyard anytime you want. Carol goes, we had a raccoon and a squirrel as pets. They lived a long time. Oh, that's awesome. Chris goes, I would fear rabies myself. That's why, Chris, I know raccoons carry rabies, so I kind of kept my distance. Like I didn't go up close, like here. I kept my, like I threw. But I mean, obviously, if he did, I felt like he would have been aggressive already if he had rabies. So I kind of was like, no, but just in case. Tyranna! Thank you for gifting a Grayson Report membership. And welcome, Jennifer, to the Wolfpack Hearts for Tyranna. And welcome, Jennifer, to the Wolfpack Hearts for both. Thank you, Tyranna. And goes, oh my God, I love raccoons. They actually wash their hands before they wash. I did a report in 6th grade. Oh, that is cool. Heather, whatever. That's okay, Heather, whatever. I I hadn't gotten into the nitty gritty yet. So you're good, Heather. Whatever. So did any of you? I know I asked earlier. Did any of you see the second trailer to Beetlejuice? And as I was saying, I had not seen it yet. I was gonna watch it, and then I got into setting up everything, and then I came back right now. I was like, "Oops, I forgot to watch it." So it is coming out September 6th. And as I was saying, I was a little heartened with the first trailer because I did see CGI. I'm not don't get me wrong, I've seen movies with CGI and it looked beautiful. I'm not opposed to it, but I prefer practical effects or stop motion. I believe Tim Burton used stop motion. The ghost with the most is back to make all your nightmares come true. Warner Brothers has released a full trailer of Tim Burton's Beetlejuice Electric Boogaloo, and it reveals a lot more about the plot of the legendary director's long-awaited sequel. The footage begins with Jenna Ortega's skeptic Astrid Dietz, seemingly estranged from her alleged mother, becoming a believer after being abducted by unknown supernatural forces. With nowhere else to turn, Lydia, Winona Ryder, reluctantly summons her old friend Beetlejuice, played by Michael Keaton, for help. The bioexorcist agrees to accompany Lydia to the afterlife to rescue her daughter, but can he be trusted? We're going to take a wild guess and say not a chance. The teaser also gives us another look at William Dafoe's as afterlife cop Wolf Jackson, Monica Bellucci as Beetlejuice's ex-wife Dolores. What? He has an ex-wife? There's also a gross out moment toward the end when Beetlejuice spills his guts literally to Lydia and Justin Theroux's character. Check out the new trailer when you get a chance. And I guess there's a new poster too, but I didn't see a new poster. But when you guys get a chance, check that out if you are a fan of Beetlejuice. Did not show it. It said there was a new poster, but it didn't say. Is that the poster? Give me a second, guys. I'm looking for a poster because I just see a teaser poster. I mean, I would assume that's like the poster, but it's not like the whole thing. I am just seeing a teaser and character posters when I search. Heather Whatever goes, whoa, Beetlejuice's ex? I was like, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. He was married? Carol goes, no, I have not. I've been busy doing yard work in a wood burning project I need to get done. Matthew goes, on my TV, it looked like puppet with animation and CGI. I think he wanted, I think what I heard, don't quote me, he wanted to do, what he's known for, like the stop motion puppet, stuff like that, etc., except practical effects. But I think he wouldn't have had enough time to do it. Don't quote me. And so they convinced him to do some CGI mixed in. Because that's not what he really does. Carol goes, it was mentioned in the first one. I have not seen the first one since I was a kid. So it wasn't one of the, I mean, I'm not like a super huge fan of Beetlejuice. I know there's people that are crazy super fans, but I never was like a super fan. I mean, I watched it when I was a kid, but then I never kind of revisited it. And Matthew also said, well, he did say she meant nothing to him when he gave her the ring in the original. I agree, Wendy. I hope this doesn't disappoint. It shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't. I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but For me, I don't think it's going to be disappointing. But I have a feeling some of like the hardcore fans are going to have it like up here, and it might disappoint them. But I don't really have high expectations for it, so I would just go in to have a good time. I wouldn't try to nitpick it or anything. Chris Barber, I won't get to watch it till it comes out for free on streaming. It's probably going to be me too, as well. Usually I kind of just wait for, because nowadays, it's like 2 months, less than 2 months, and it's already on streaming. So, some of them, not all movies, some movies, they go straight to streaming right away. So I'm sure Wake Shape Berry goes, yeah, it's Tim Burton still doing the new one as well. So, guys, who is a fan of, before we get into the Atlantis thing? Matthew goes, he took the ring off a finger, then put it on lid. I had to rewatch it, guys. I got to rewatch it. So, who is a Cobra Kai fan? I know the final season came out at midnight today. For the if anyone is catching, I'm probably gonna watch it tomorrow. With Lewis. But I am a super. I know Cobra Kai. You're like, what does it have to do with spookiness? Heather River goes, I love Cobra Kai. Love Cobra Kai. Wink. So apparently, one of the actresses in Cobra Kai, and this is from Fandom Wire. I don't know how legit this website is. Apparently she had a paranormal experience. So, Peyton List, who plays Tori in Cobra Kai, which is who's pictured here. Then it just immediately turned off. Cobra Kai star Peyton List had a spine-chilling paranormal experience after knowingly moving into a haunted house. It's on, if you guys have Netflix, it is on Netflix. This is, it finally aired the final season. There's 6 seasons. Julissa goes, I'm a fan waiting to watch it with my husband. So Cobra Kai star Peyton List recalled her uncanny experience after moving into a haunted house. So Peyton List, known for her dynamic roles in hit series like Cobra Kai and Jessie, experienced a spine-chilling paranormal activity after knowingly moving into a haunted house. While this experience was new for the actress, she is no stranger to horror elements as she portrays the role of Maddie Nears in the Paramount Plus series School Spirits. With the first season premiered last year, a second season is officially in the works, but before her on-screen return to unravel the mystery surrounding her on-screen character Maddie's death, she spilled the beans about her real-life paranormal experience. I have never seen, what was that name of that show? School Spirits. Peyton List moved into a real-life haunted house. From kicking off her career as a child model, Peyton List transitioned to acting with the 2008 movie 27 Dresses. From then on, she continued to evolve her acting skills as she worked in series like Jessie, Bunked, and Cobra Kai. After gaining significant attention with the Netflix series, she went on to take a lead role in School Spirits, which revolves around her character Maddie, who recently died in her school. Being unaware of her passing, she embarks on a journey to discover exactly how she passed away. Although she yet awaits to resolve the mystery of her demise, List recounted the experience that says otherwise about her being a non-believer of ghosts. A few years ago, List moved into a haunted house where an old woman named Mary Jane had passed away in her sleep. Despite her skepticism, she met with unexpected occurrences that freaked even her guests. When she moved into the haunted house, she was already aware of its history. While the Cobra Kai star did not believe in paranormal things, it seemed otherwise as her seemingly normal house in the daytime transformed into a hub of paranormal activities at night. She explained that she would hear footsteps on the stairs when no one else was home. Also, the locked back door would somehow mysteriously come open, which often freaked out her unexpected guest. However, one jarring incident left a long lasting impression on her, which happened when her neighbor visited her. While these strange occurrences didn't really bother her, one particular incident never left her memory. She recounted a day when her neighbor, whom she referred to as her crazy cat lady neighbor, visited. Since her neighbor was familiar with the deceased lady, she started talking about Mary Jane. In an interview with Teen Vogue, she explained, "My crazy cat lady neighbor came up to me and was like, 'Oh yeah, Mary Jane. I was good friends with her and she would love it that you're here and that you're taking care of the place.'" As her neighbors started talking about Mary Jane's health, the car parked next to them suddenly started blaring right in front of the house. The uncanny timing made List poke a little fun at the situation. "I made a joke. Mary Jane doesn't like that you're talking about her." And she's like, "Oh, I know that's her. Fine, I'll stop talking about you." And then it's just immediately turned off. While this could scare anyone off, List might not be one. In a Pop Sugar interview that year, she maintained her stance about her thoughts on being skeptical about the paranormal. By consistently assuring herself that ghosts don't exist, she has prevented her mind from creating false realities or getting influenced by eerie events. All right. So she is apparently a skeptic even after experiencing things, if that makes any sense. Wendy goes, "Thank goodness for Mary Jane." Wait, Shafe Berry goes, "If you haven't seen it, it's a karate soap." Yeah, well, I mean, it's an extension of the Karate Kid, basically. If you guys are fans of the Karate Kid movie. Matthew goes, "Something that was never on her list. A place she moves into is haunted." I mean, she put it in her mind that she's always going to remain a skeptic no matter what thing she sees. I mean, to each his own. Wake Shape Berry goes, "Bigfoot told me to never trust the paranormal." Julissa goes, "Yes, it is. It is. It's very campy. But it's still cool." Kind of, I mean, I guess like a teen drama, maybe kind of too, if you added that in there. All right, guys, do you guys believe that Atlantis exists? Before we get into my next article, Atlantis, the Greek god, I believe Atlas, ruled Atlantis, who was the son of Poseidon and the mortal woman Cleito. I know I am butchering that. According to Plato, which is probably going to say in the thing. Heather whatever goes, "Yes, I agree. Wink Shape Berry Cobra Kai is really fun to watch if you have not seen it, and it is on Netflix, guys. So I know a lot of people. I know some people don't have Netflix, but I know a lot of people do." Joanne goes, "Yes." Tarana goes, "Yes." Wendy goes, "If I say yes, much research." Well, Matthew goes, "Yes," and was in the Pegasus galaxy, but is now invisible at the Golden Gate Bridge. So I found this cool article. Carol goes, "I believe the city was real, but not sure about the rest." I found this article. Um, it is Where is Atlantis? Inside the theories about the lost city's location from the North Sea to the Antarctica. And as I was saying earlier, Atlantis was ruled by, in Greek mythology, Atlantis was ruled by Atlas, who is the son of Poseidon, and the mortal woman Cleito, or Cleito. Ever since Plato wrote that Atlantis sank beneath the Atlantic Ocean around 10,000 BCE, theorists have set out to determine the location of the ancient civilization. When Ignatius Donnelly published his 1882 book Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, a new wave of scholars, conspiracy theorists, and believers developed an interest in the fabled lost city. In the nearly 150 years since, countless expeditions have been launched, papers written, and theories put forth in the search of Atlantis. Was it real? What was it like? What happened to it? And most importantly, where is Atlantis? Matthew goes, it has a Stargate in it too. Wake Shapeberry goes, I do think Atlantis was real, but that's the easy part. Exactly. Many scholars have asserted that Plato was simply speaking allegorically when he wrote of the lost city, Atlantis. They say is not real, nor has it ever been. However, this has not stopped people from believing. In fact, statistics from 2018 shows that 57% of Americans believe in Atlantis or a similar advanced ancient civilization. With so many people convinced that Atlantis is real, there is certainly no shortage of theories on where Atlantis rests on the ocean floor. Some have pointed to the North Atlantic Ocean, others to the Middle East, and even more to the Mediterranean. Obviously, no one has actually found Atlantis to date, but what does historical evidence tell us about where the mythical city may be? And if you're into DC, you could think of, because Atlantis, I don't know, it reminds me of Aquaman for some odd reason. Clues about the lost civilization's location from Plato's writings. The most sensible place to start looking for Atlantis would be precisely where Plato said it was, according to his writings. That would place the island nation in the Atlantic Ocean. Plato specifically wrote that Atlantis was located outside the Pillars of Hercules, which many believe to be the rocks that mark the entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar. I'm getting tongue twisted. The problem is that ancient Greeks and Romans may have used the term Pillars of Hercules to refer to several different places, including the entrance to the Black Sea. So this is a map, illustration of a map claiming to show where Atlantis was located, with south at the top of the map. And as you can see, it says Africa. I believe that says Hilp or Hilpania, Atlanticus, America, and Oceanus. So, what does Plato's invocation of the Pillars of Hercules actually tell us about the location of Atlantis? Evidently, not much. Plato also claimed to have heard the tale of Atlantis from Egyptian storytellers, which only complicates the matter further. Based on what one Egyptian priest said in Plato's writings, Athens generously liberated all the rest of us who dwelled within the pillars, meaning Egypt too falls within the so-called Pillars of Hercules. The Egyptians also frequently spoke of their own pillars of heaven, which could have been confused with the Pillars of Hercules. Ultimately, if we want to determine where Atlantis is, we have to look beyond Plato's writings and into more modern speculation. Matthew GB1, do you believe in UFOs, astral projection, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness monster, and the theory of Atlantis? If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say. Chris Barber goes, I remember watching The Man from Atlantis with Patrick Duffy. Wake Sheaf Berry goes, there was a big explosion that blew up an empire. Was it the Thracians? So, where was the lost city of Atlantis? I heard earthquake is what caused Atlantis to sink underwater. In the 20th and 21st century, more eyes than ever before turned toward Atlantis, as such new theories about where the lost civilization may have been were put forth. Some even suggest that Atlantis may not be on the ocean floor at all, but rather that it's simply known now by another name. For example, in Robert Graves' 1955 compendium, The Greek Myths, I've heard of that name before. The English writer argued that Atlantis had once stood off the western coast of the Nile Delta. Atlantis, he wrote, may have simply been the island of Pharos before Alexander the Great constructed a causeway to connect the island to mainland Egypt. Half a century later, the American architect Robert Sarmast published a book entitled Discovery of Atlantis, the startling case of the island of Cyprus, in which he examined sonar data from the ocean floor of the Cyprus basin. The images Sarmas claimed were of man-made structures, the very same Atlantean structures described by Plato. He referenced biblical floods and disagreed with the findings of mainstream scientists. So this is a painting by Nicholas Roche, or Rich, depicting the destruction of Atlantis. It's kind of a cool photo, or painting, I should say. For what it's worth, those very same scientists disagree with Sarmast. In 2004, social anthropologist Benny Pizer told Live Science that Sarmast's selective interpretation is nothing more than the blinked reading of a very ambiguous and unconvincing image. Anyone with a critical eye can pick out that these images are far too vague and uncertain to be regarded as compelling evidence for any man-made structures. Pizer went on to call Sarmast's theory completely bogus. Several more reasonable classical scholars have put forth the idea that the island of Helike had served as inspiration for Atlantis, given that it was destroyed by an earthquake and tsunami only a few years before Plato wrote of the fabled civilization. Likewise, some have pointed to places like Sardinia, Malta, Turkey, and Troy. Wake Sheep Berry goes, trouble is they are looking for aliens. Another theory is that Atlantis was located in the North Sea. Thousands of years ago, a great plain stretched between modern-day England and Denmark known as Doggerland. Around 6200 BCE, a tsunami submerged the land, and it's been lying at the bottom of the North Sea ever since. Yet another hypothesis claims that Atlantis was built atop what is now Antarctica. The landmass, the theory goes, once stood in the northern Atlantic Ocean, but plate tectonics moved it to its current position. The lost city and its inhabitants were then buried under layers of ice. The only thing these numerous theories have in common is that evidence is scarce, speculative, and frankly lacking. Wendy goes, I've heard that many alien portals are under the sea. Why we still haven't found Atlantis after all these years? With the sheer volume of people who have set out in search of Atlantis, why haven't we found it yet? For an island that was greater than Libya and Asia Minor together, according to Plato, there sure seems to be staggeringly small amounts of proof that Atlantis even existed, let alone where and when. The real person no one has discovered Atlantis then is that it's likely fictional, or the real reason. I think I said the real reason no one has discovered Atlantis then is that it is likely fictional. Bernadette! Thank you for your super chat. Apologies, Lisa just finished part 1 of freaking Cobra Kai. Epic, all I could say. Now, gotta wait till November 5th. No way, that's when the second one's coming out. What? Blasphemy. November 15th? What? That's blasphemy. I think it has to do with the strike, though. I noticed there's a lot of series that are dividing their season. Thank you, Bernadette. Hearts for Bernadette, guys. Granted, that's not going to convince believers. However, there simply is no evidence. When Bimini Road was discovered, people theorized it might lead to Atlantis, but it hasn't. Scans of the ocean floor with new technology have revealed vast troves of treasure and undiscovered creatures, but no signs pointing to Atlantis. Dinosaur fossils dating back millions of years have been found in people's backyards, but scientists haven't unearthed a single verifiably Atlantean artifact. Most scholars agree that Plato simply used the story of Atlantis as an allegory for the hubris of nations. Ignatius Donnelly, the man who popularized the idea of Atlantis in a modern context, was not even an archaeologist or historian. He was a mostly unsuccessful politician. Donnelly also proposed that William Shakespeare's plays had actually been written by Francis Bacon, writing the book The Great Cryptogram to prove it. He then took his findings to England, put the theory to a vote, and he was discredited as a result. Of course he's going to get discredited. That's not to say everything Donnelly did was undeserving of praise. He was an early advocate of women's suffrage and proponent of the 8-hour workday. But Donnelly's ideas did not necessarily make him an excellent scholar. Much of what he wrote was purely based on his own opinion and lacked evidence to support it. So, if you're looking for Atlantis, unless you're looking for the resort in the Bahamas, you're likely not going to find it. So this article is basically saying that Atlantis does not exist, and it had said that with technology today, we would at least find something that resembles it. But what if, because I had read that it was there were great earthquakes. What if everything was destroyed when it went into the ocean? So I kind of feel like there is a possibility that Atlantis is real. I also have another article. It might repeat what the other article said, but it is the story behind the legend of Atlantis. Matthew heard the Bermuda Triangle, but according to that article, they said it's fictional. And they're saying that Plato used it as an allegory. But Matthew goes, I heard Bermuda Triangle is because of Atlantis. I'm kind of with you guys. I know most of you had said that you do believe in Atlantis, but you don't know about the rest of the story. I do believe that it exists. Even if we can't find it, doesn't necessarily mean it didn't exist. It could have been completely destroyed for all we know. Bernadette goes, I believe Atlantis does exist. I mean, they made an animated movie about it. And then, too, a sinkhole could have happened and everything went into that sinkhole. It might be why we can't find it. We may not be going deep enough, too. I don't know what extensive searches they went through because they didn't reveal that in the article. Matthew goes, I don't know, just seen shows talk about it there long ago. Here is the story behind the legend, so this might give us a little more insight, because I feel like that one was more like talking about its location. Atlantis has become a taboo subject in many scholarly circles, often branded in pseudoscience and invented interpretations from Plato's dialogues. Plato was a Greek philosopher from Athens in ancient Greece during the classical period in the 5th to 4th century BC. He was the student of Socrates and taught Aristotle, credited with founding the Platonist school of thought and the Academy, the first institution of higher learning in the Western world. Oh, wow. Plato first introduced Atlantis in the Timaeus, a monologue of Timaeus of Locri, a character who appeared as a philosopher and a wealthy aristocrat from the Greek colony of Locroi Epiphyrio. Oh, I am butchering this. Epiphyrio. Modern scholarship tend to dismiss Timaeus historically, considering him a literary construct of Plato from features of the Pythagoreans. Protagonist in the dialogue includes Socrates, a great philosopher from Athens, Hermocrates, an ancient Syracusan general. I know, I apologize, guys, in advance. I am butchering these. Critias, a student of Socrates. Oh my God, now I can't read. And an author from Athens and Timaeus. The dialogue begins with an account of the creation of the universe in ancient civilizations, where Socrates muses his idea state described in Plato's Republic, a Socratic dialogue authorized by Plato around 375 BC. Whew, have to breathe. To make the perfect example, Critias proceeds to tell the story of Solon's journey to Egypt sometime during the 7th century BC, 300 years prior to the setting of the dialogue. Solon was an Athenian statesman who tried to legislate against political, economic, and moral decline in archaic Athens. After he completed his reforms, according to Herodotus, he visited Pharaoh Amasis II in Egypt and discussed philosophy with Xenophis of Heliopolis and Sonchis of Sais. Wendy goes, don't worry about the pronunciations, Lisa. Oh, I have to take a break from that one. Wake Shapeberry goes, Plato likely made it up. Matthew goes, Socrates, like sand through an hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Wendy goes, the air turbulence over the Bermuda Triangle is real, y'all. Flying back and forth from Puerto Rico, that magnetic vortex is real and might. Oh, wow. I've never flown over it or over that area, so I am not sure. Heather, whatever goes, my favorite Atlantis movie line is, I just like to blow things. Wake Shapeberry goes, it did exist. A massive volcanic eruption wiped them out. Bernadette goes, can we just think about how many cities might exist and we still don't know about? Exactly. There's probably a lot of things that we have yet to discover that's out there. Lisa Boo, I do agree. There's a lot of myths based on truth. Joanne goes, Socrates. Heather, whatever goes, Lisa's the best at persistently sounding out words. Thank you, Heather, whatever. Appreciate it. Birdie Dick goes, why am I thinking of Popeye's pronunciations? So his journey also took him to the, does that say a burlesque show? It does. His journey also took him to the ancient city of Sais in the western Nile Delta on the Canopic branch of the Nile. Herodotus claims that the grave of Osiris was located in Sais, whilst the ancient Greek historian Diodorus Siculus, most known for writing the monumental universal history Bibliotheca Historica, attributes the construction of Sais to the ancient Athenians before the Great Deluge. Oh my God, I feel like I'm reading a college essay. At the time of Solon's visit, Sais was the capital of ancient Egypt during the 26th dynasty and had a large cult following at the temple of Neith, a goddess associated with creation, wisdom, weaving, and war. According to Critias, it was here that the legend of Atlantis was first described, with priests from the temple recounting Solon with the tales of the fallen civilization 9,000 years prior. Based on the priest's timeline, Atlantis is placed in the 10th millennium BC at the beginning of the transition from the Paleolithic to the Neolithic via the Intermesolithic. Prehistoric people started to develop agriculture and complex communities that constructed monuments such as the Gobekli Tepe or Tep and Helen Semi Tepesi, both in southeastern Anatolia, and the Starkar site in North Yorkshire, England. Plato then expands on the story, for it is related in our records how once upon a time your state stayed the course of a mighty host, which starting from a distant point in the Atlantic Ocean, was insolently advancing to attack the whole of Europe and Asia to boot. For the ocean there was at the time navigable, for in front of the mouth, which you Greeks call, as you say, the Pillars of Hercules, a phrase that was applied in antiquity to the promontories that flank the entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar, there laid an island which was larger than Libya and Asia together, and it was possible for the travelers of that time to cross from it to the other islands, and from the island to the whole of the continent over again against them, which encompassed the veritable ocean. For all that we have here lying within the mouth of which we speak is evidently a heaven having a narrow interest. But that yonder is a real ocean, and the land surrounding it may most rightly be called, in the fullest and truest sense, a continent. Lisa Boo, I agree. Tongue twister heaven in this writing. Yes. Wendy goes, I think I was a burlesque dancer in a previous time. Bernadette goes, God, this is Harry Potter's word. Oh, for all that we have here lying within the mouth of which we speak is evidently a haven. Oh, I think I read that already. I don't want to read it again. Now, in the island of Atlantis, there existed a confederation of kings of great and marvelous power, which held sway over all the island and over many other islands also, and parts of the continent, and moreover of the lands here within the straits. They ruled over Libya as far as Egypt. The Critias, another of Plato's dialogues, often combined with the Timaeus, once again features Timaeus, Critias, Socrates, and Hermocrates, and described in detail the ancient city, the landscape, fauna and flora, and the structure of society and means of governance. Critias talks about an ancient time when the regions of the world were divided between the gods. Atlantis was positioned within Poseidon's domain, where Poseidon fell in love with a mortal girl named Cleito, and bore many children, the first of which was named Atlas, king of the entire island kingdom of the ocean. The Atlanteans constructed when I see Atlanteans, I'm thinking of Aquaman. Constructed a great metropolis surrounded by concentric bridge bodies of water connected to the sea by a large canal. At the center was a palace of a small mountain that contained a holy temple dedicated to Cleito and Poseidon, and statues of gold of all the descendants of the 10 kings and their wives. In the dialogue, Critias points out the virtue of Atlantis. For many generations, as long as the divine nature lasted in them, they were obedient to the laws and well affectioned towards the god, whose seeds they were, for they possessed true and in every way great spirits, uniting gentleness with wisdom in the various cases chances of life and in their intercourse with one another. Oh, yes, I really wanted to know that. They despised everything but virtue, caring little for their present state of life, and thinking lightly of the possession of gold and other property, which seemed only a burden to them. Neither were they intoxicated by luxury, nor did wealth deprive them of their self-control. So they seemed like they were simple people. Over time, the divinity of the Atlanteans gave way to the corruption of the human nature, for which Zeus sought to chastise. Zeus, the god of gods, who rule according to law and is able to see into such things, perceiving that an honorable race was in a woeful plight, and wanting to inflict punishment on them, that they might be chastened and improved, collected all the gods into their most holy habitation, which being placed in the center of the world, beholds all created things. From here, the rest of the dialogue is incomplete, but events previously described by Critias claims that, I know I'm probably going to be pronouncing these like 5 different times throughout this, claims that the continent suffered a series of major earthquakes and sunk beneath the sea. In the years that followed the dialogue, many ancient writers such as Xenocrates viewed the story of Atlantis to be historical facts, but some saw Plato's work as fictional and metaphorically myth. I am not laughing at these names. I'm just laughing that the tongue twisters I'm going through. Despite its minor importance in Plato's wider works, the Atlantis story has had a considerable impact on literature. The allegorical aspect of Atlantis was taken up in utopian works of several Renaissance writers, such as Francis Bacon's New Atlantis in 1626 and Thomas More's Utopia in 1516. Bernadette Zeus was a pimp. Matthew goes, at least it wasn't Xenu. Xenu, yes. But it's kind of weird how some of those names are almost close. Thank you, Lisa Boo, for your PayPal earlier. Thank you, Lisa. You are amazing, my friend. Thank you, Lisa Boo. Hearts for Lisa Boo. And thank you, Heather Whatever, for your PayPal as well. A tiny bit. Hope it helps. Thank you, Heather Whatever. I appreciate it. Hearts for Lisa Boo and Heather Whatever for their PayPals. Bernadette goes Xenocrates versus Xeno potato. Oh, back to the college essay. Modern day attempts to associate Atlantis with archaeologic sites mainly place the civilization in or near the Mediterranean Sea, which proposed locations including Sardinia, Crete, Sicily, Cyprus, Spain, Malta, Turkey, Israel, northwestern Africa, Crete, and Santorini. I've never been to Malta, but I've seen Malta in on YouTube videos. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Santorini is the most interesting parallel, where a Cycladic Bronze Age town called Akrotiri emerged as a trading hub during the 3rd millennium BC. The town had richly decorated multi-story buildings that used an advanced sewage system predating many contemporary civilizations until the Romans. This is literally spelled like it's sewerage. Akrotiri was destroyed in the Theron eruption sometime in the 17th century or 16th century BC, devastating the town and communities on nearby islands with earthquakes and tsunamis. The eruption deposited layers of pumice and ash, bearing Akrotiri up to 7 meters in material, which was followed by pyroclastic surges, lava flow, lahar floods, and imbrite ashfall deposits, which makes me think, like, because we haven't found Atlantis, that's probably what happened. Like, it got completely destroyed, and that's why, like, there's probably land covering it. It is speculated by some historians that the destruction of Akrotiri was the inspiration behind Plato's story of Atlantis, borrowed from oral stories and legends passed down over the centuries. In more recent years, Atlantis has given rise to pseudo-scientific speculations, often a byword for any and all supposed advanced prehistoric civilizations lost in the annals of time. Guys, what did you think of that college essay? I don't think it was a college essay, but it was on the Heritage Daily. But it seemed like a college essay. Matthew goes, Popeye was filmed in Malta and the whole set last I read. Oh, yes, the set for Popeye is still up. I did hear it as well. Thank you, Bernadette, for your PayPal. She says, long live the alien duck and the other duck I can now see. Hearts for Bernadette. And if you did not know, Bernadette gifted me alien duck, which is to my I guess my right. And it's a alien duck, and I call it the Cobra Kai duck because it reminds me of the skeleton outfits that Cobra Kai wore in the original Karate Kid, and then they also brought it back in Cobra Kai. Thank you, Bernadette. I appreciate that, and I love the ducks. I do. Lisa Bugos, bravo. Lisa, how's your tongue after that? It's like pumped. Like if my tongue could flex, it'd be flexing its muscles right now. I liked Popeye. I know a lot of people probably didn't, but I liked that movie. And rest in peace, Shelley Duvall. Bernadette goes, damn, I like that. Lisa, Cobra Kai never dies. Exactly. It just reminded me. The duck reminded me of Cobra Kai, so I call it Cobra Kai duck. Mr. Spock, what is up? I think going back to Atlantis, I think Atlantis did exist, and the reason why we can't find it is probably because it was destroyed completely. And that's the reason why we can't find it. We lost a lot of great people. I mean, I didn't know them personally, but a lot of great public, I guess, icons, you could say. We also lost Shannon Dorothy. And Richard Simmons. I was like, because I grew up watching Richard Simmons. I mean, I never. Mr. Spock says it's under Antarctica. That's what one of the articles I had read had said it was there, or it was according to Plato, it put it with where the Strait of Gibraltar is. But they did also mention the Antarctica. And that Bob Newhart just passed away, I believe today, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Spock goes, there was a great flood. Yes, for sure. Heather, whatever, there were great human-built wonders of the world that are gone now. Yes, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that we didn't know about that got destroyed because of an earthquake or a natural disaster. Which is crazy. I had to think about, I was like, Bob Newhart, like I know him. And then I was like, oh, I had to think about it for a second. I felt like Richard Simmons was still young. He's about the same. He was my dad passed away at 76, and I always felt that he was about the same age. I think he was the same age as Richard Simmons was when he passed. And I always felt that he died young, and I always feel Richard Simmons, Shannon Dorothy's young too. It's like F cancer. A lot of good people are taken with cancer for no reason. Wendy goes 53. Yes, she was young. Mr. Spock goes, I'm worried about fracking and messing with the tectonic plates. I mean, earthquakes that we have here in California can easily destroy us. You know what I mean? There's anything, tornadoes, hurricanes. Bernadette goes, can I just shout out Dick Van Dyke, still going at 98 years old, still down. I know. You know what? I saw Dick Van Dyke. He exercises. He exercises to stay young. Heather, whatever goes, Mr. Spock. Yes, they found a whole skeleton in a cliff near San Diego, but very high up, and it was end to end upright flood. Big one. Julissa goes, I prefer earthquakes to tornadoes. I've never been through a tornado, but I think I'm with you on that one, Julissa. I've seen them. No. Though they have shelters that they have in place for those, but still. Bernadette said Dick Van Dyke is 98. That's a long life. All right, guys, I am going to open it up to questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Could be paranormal related. If you guys have like a creepy story, I haven't seen Panda Bear in here. I do have your article, but the problem is I put it on a Microsoft doc and it wouldn't pull up. So as soon as I could pull it up, I will share your article. I was going to share it today, but it won't open up for some odd reason. It keeps saying error, and I was like, so I had to use Google Docs to put my links on today. Mr. Spock goes, nice alien. Oh, thank you. I got quite a few. I know I'll be watching Cobra Kai. I think if you guys have, I think it's Peacock. Is it Peacock or Paramount? If you guys have Peacock and you want to catch Abigail, it's going to come out on the 19th. So tomorrow it's dropping. So if you guys want to check out Abigail, it's that vampire movie with the ballerina. And you have Peacock, it's dropping on July 19th. I was able to see it on an early screening. I got an advanced copy of it, so I was able to check it out. Trying to think of anything else. I still want to see Talk to Me, but you have to pay for it. Bastards. Wake Shaper goes, I always watch Diagnosis Murder. Bernadette goes, not a question, but a fact. We had DJ Lisa spin at Mad Monster Epic. Yes, guys. I mixed for I've been mixing for a while, but that was my first time I ever mixed in front of anybody. So The fact that I had two people, well, I mean, I had Leonore, Jennifer Marie, and Lewis dancing, but I had three other people dancing. That was amazing. And I went all crazy techno on them, and they were still dancing. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yes, I did. I do have video, but I don't know how to post it because I don't want to get dings. So I'll figure out how to post it somewhere. But it was my first time mixing in front of a crowd. It was cool. And I had fun. I mixed for about an hour. Heather Ryder goes, the Lisa techno. Julissa goes, dish is done. My dinner's dishwasher, aka husband's flight, is delayed. Oh, that sucks. Kyle, what is up? I may post them on, I may post one on social media because you can't really post it on YouTube. Lisa Boo goes, I would have been dancing too. Bernadette goes, Telegram. Maybe Lisa, I have video as well. Maybe I'll put it on my Telegram or on my social or both. I could put it on both. That don't hurt. It's techno music. I think they're going to ding me for that on Instagram. Mr. Spock goes, did you pull it off good? I think I did good considering. It wasn't I had to go off Lewis's list because I didn't bring my music, but I was like, I don't know any of the songs, but I did good. Heather, whatever goes, I agree. YouTube has no music soul. I agree. I mean, at least they should have, I know Twitch plans on, or they might have released it already, but they're allowing you to play music. If you're a DJ on Twitch, they're allowing you to play music, but you have to sign up for their program or something. Bernadette goes, Lisa wore me out. But I wish YouTube would do the same. Honestly, YouTube should do the same. They need to. But I feel like YouTube's too anal to do that. And then obviously if you have like I think there's other programs that if you pay, you can mix on there and not get dinged. Like Mixcloud or something like SoundCloud, something like that. Unless you're playing like very obscured stuff. That Heather, whatever, I agree. YouTube is short-sighted. Wendy, I agree with you there too. YouTube is it is. Like they're dinging people for doing a news like report on something. So they're showing a video. Obviously, we're talking about that video, but they're dinging the person for copyright because they're using that video. But then yet you see 200 other people use it and it's still up. So why are you dinging one person and not getting the other people? That's like double standard. Especially if you're using, I get it if you're using the information you're using in a negative way, but if you're using it as like you're reporting to the people, that's like something totally different. Like you're doing a news story. Bernadette goes, what they did to Lewis was so wrong. Yes. That's why I'm like I'm like dotting my I's and crossing my T's. Wake there will be an algorithm that makes a Terminator. When he goes, they pick and choose. I feel like it. They do. They pick and choose on who they want to mess with. I know it's happened to Jody's Corner too. If you guys are familiar with Jody's Corner, he actually he couldn't stream for a week. So, I mean, people that work hard are getting dinged for using a video that other people are using. And it's annoying. Or saying you're reusing content. Like, come on. Kyle goes, that's why being on Multiple platforms is always a good option. Yes, true, Kyle. True. Even if you're even if you have, see, the problem is we don't own YouTube, so that's where the thing goes. But true, Kyle. It's like, even if you don't, you put videos on one, but you have other platforms where you communicate with people so they know where you're going, is a good thing. Yeah, I agree with you, Kyle. Matthew goes, should change it to us tube since YouTube cares more about it. Yeah. Mr. Spock goes, my favorite is Malcolm McLaren album's Duck Rock 1980 for early rap mixing. Oh, I gotta check that out. I'm not a big rap fan, but I tend to like the earlier rap, or hip hop, I should say, hip hop. But I'm not a huge fan. Keep the questions coming, guys. Oh, Skeleduck. Skeleduck. I'm pretty sure, I think I gave you enough time to look in widescreen, but Skeleduck, he is right there. He's like literally right behind me. I don't know what he's doing to the Ouija board, but he's right in front of the Ouija board. So it's right where my finger is pointing, right there. Before I forget, because I know I'll forget. Mr. Spock goes, Buffalo Gals is the most popular song off the album. Julissa goes, I did not see him. Kyle goes, he's talking to the studio ghost. Bernadette goes, Lisa, come on, you were twerking to Sir Mix-a-Lot. Just kidding, baby. I like that song, though. Baby Got Back. Oh, my God, Becky. Look at her. Wendy goes, no, Ouija, bad Skelly. There's no planchette. The planchette is in my room. I keep them separated. So no crazy things are going to be happening. The planchette's right next to it's on my bedside table. I'm crazy like that. Oh well. Wendy goes, I want to see the footage. I'll probably put it on both. I'll put it on Telegram and I'll put a clip. I saw something moving. I was like, oh, it's my tarp. There were people twerking though. Gotta keep them separated. Dun dun dun. Watch, they're gonna be like, you use music. I was like, I was singing the music. I wonder what happens if you sing the music. Crazy thing about the singer of Offspring, he actually has like a degree in like biochemistry. I forgot what it was. That's crazy though. And they're still rocking. Think his name Dexter Holland. Holds a PhD in molecular biology. Heather, whatever goes, I think it's okay. Like a commentary. Bernadette goes, I tried to twerk, but my back was already out. Matthew goes, they were in idle hands too. Hand took his scalp out off. I remember that movie, but I don't remember that movie. I know I've seen it, but it's one of those movies where I saw it once when it came out and I never revisited it. So that's one of those ones that I got to rewatch. Wake Shape Barry goes, Brian May from Queen and is an astrophysicist. That is crazy. Julissa goes, was there a costume contest at Mad Monster and did anyone video it? Yes, there was. I think Bernadette took pictures. But unfortunately the costume contest, I think what was going on when we were setting up the DJ booth, so we couldn't see it. But there was a costume contest. Mr. Spock goes, Peppa from Salt and Peppa got kicked off a Southwestern flight. I guess she was too spicy. Matthew goes, Ozzy Osbourne is a history buff. I guess I keep seeing that they do plan on moving back. And I know, I think I mentioned this before, they do plan on moving to England, but it's delayed because he's having health issues. One of the reasons why he wasn't able to go to Mad Monster, but their son Jack was there. And I saw Jack. Jack was fanboying over Barenthal when we were walking by, and I was like, I was looking at him and he goes, he's short. I think Barenthal was taller than him. Maybe it was just the way he was standing, but he looked short when I was walking by, or he didn't look as tall as I thought he was. Bernadette goes, she will put the picture for those of you that are on my Telegram. Bernadette's going to put the picture in my Telegram, in the Grayson Report Telegram. And he looks thinner in person. But then I always feel like the TV, I don't know, it's weird. Some people look thinner in person than they do when they're on screens. But the popular people from last weekend were, I felt Matthew Lillard was the popular one, like the Scream. Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, and Jamie Kennedy. I felt like they had the biggest line throughout the entire weekend. Bernadette goes, oh my God, Lisa got a wink from Blue Diamond Phillips. Oh, that's cool. Julissa goes, camera adds about 10 pounds. Heather whatever goes, yes, some people look bigger on TV. Mr. Spock goes, Max Sabbath is funny. Ozzy's reaction seeing them is priceless. And then sometimes you'd be walking and then they'll be like, I remember because I forgot if Leonore was with Shelley. I forgot who she was with, and they were standing in front of Michael Lerner, who plays Michael, and not the producer's edit of the film, the Halloween 6, but he was in the because they filmed two parts of it, so he was in the second edit of it. And they were standing there, and he's like, "Come on, I don't bite. You could come. You could talk to me." I thought that was kind of cool. Tyrana goes, "That's awesome to meet all the different stars." I mean, I kind of just walk and look at them. I'm kind of not like one to talk to them. But I ran into, like I said with my previous stream, we ran into Matthew Lillard in the elevator, and Tom Wopat. We kept running into him, which was funny. And then one of the guys from the Greasy Strangler. Kane Hodder was sitting at the bar. I mean, that's what's cool about that convention. Logical Spark, what is up? All right, guys, any last minute questions before I end this stream? Make sure I didn't forget anybody, because I hate when that happens. Nope. Just a good old boys. They had nothing to do. I don't know the words. I used, because I never knew the words, so I used to just go, this a good old boys. They had nothing to do. Logical Spark, what did you make for dinner? Before I end the stream, we'll take one more question. Heather, whatever goes, good one. Some earthquakes reveal Atlantis someday. You never know. True. True, I agree. Thank you, Julissa. Julissa goes, thank you, Lisa. Great stream. I feel a little smarter tonight. Thank you, Tyranna. Matthew goes, I have some of John Snyder's 45 vinyl records to our promos. Oh, cool. Bernadette goes, there's some pics I took not very flattering to the celebs, but it is what it is and it was free. True. Logical Sparkles, an attempt an Italian dish, garlic butter shrimp pasta, aka shrimp scampoli. Oh, cool. Super cool. All right, guys. With that, I am going to end the stream. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Grayson Report. I will see you on the next one, which will be Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be there, be squared, and stay spooky, guys, and sweet nightmares. Good night, guys, and thank you. You guys are awesome.